we want to see each other get better. That's also we all of the girls cheer for each other here in Norway. So we want each other to succeed, and I think that plays a huge role. When we all train in the same gym, it's like if you start to not want the others to succeed, it's like that's not good for you. So you need to be inspired what the others can do, and they will just rise the level for you, and then you feel like, oh shit, I have to do more because everybody else is getting so good. And
got in progress. Okay, it's rolling. Yeah, crazy name. Where in Norway did you grow up?
Bergen.
Oh, Bergen.
So
I was there. I was there.
There?
Yeah, I've been once to Norway in my life.
Ooh.
I did with a traveling buddy. We did like an interrail.
Oh, nice.
There.
Did you enjoy?
It was crazy because we I don't know how it's for you Norwegians when you travel the rest of Europe. It must be like super cheap because
it's cheaper than Norway.
Yeah, because I think it was like 2013 or something. And we read in the internet, so yeah, Norway is one of the most expensive countries in Europe, and we were like, yeah, whatever. We go to the discounter and it's gonna be okay. And we originally planned like going there like for 3 weeks. And
3 weeks.
after 3 weeks.
Eating out for 3 weeks, you will be poor.
The interrail, and after 5 days we were broke.
Yeah. Where did you sleep? Like at a hotel?
We slept at hostels, like
still you were broke.
Yeah, youth hostels and stuff. Everything was so expensive. I remember like 1 liter of milk was like 3 euros.
Yeah.
And in Germany it's like 1 euro or something like that.
You can imagine how it is now.
It was crazy.
Well, the prices now are crazy. You pay like 10 euros for everything. And
wow.
Then your whole garden, it's super expensive now. But it's...
How high is the inflation in your place?
Pardon?
The inflation, how's the English word? Inflation?
I think that's it's not good right now.
Yeah.
No.
I guess so.
That's all I know. Everything is expensive.
In Germany, everything is like 8% more expensive than the year before.
I don't remember the percent, but it's high.
Yeah.
Yeah, but everybody's feeling it. So also
but it was crazy. Like then we were broke. Yeah, it was nice. It's like a student city.
Rain?
It was I don't remember.
Because it's
it didn't rain. It didn't rain.
And then you were lucky because it's raining 200 days a year.
200 days? Oh yeah.
A lot, yeah.
That's funny. I live in Bielefeld in Germany, and I think it's 8th place of rain days in Germany. It's also like 220 days of rain. And it's crazy. Whenever my parents visit me, they live in the south of Germany, and they're always complaining, it's always raining at your place, always. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, it's raining 200 plus days. So what do you expect?
Yeah, it's like when it's sun in Bergen, everybody's happy because it's like then the Bergen is the nicest city in the world, so everybody's smiling because it's a lot of rain. But I live in Oslo now, and there is more sun, more like seasons in Oslo. So now we have winter, and in summer you have more summer. So.
Yeah, I remember like a huge how do you say that in English? Where you can drive up a mountain in a kind of cable car thing.
Yeah, it's Ulriken.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it's 2 mountains. So that's what I like in Bergen. It's that you have all the mountains. I don't have any mountains here in Oslo.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's beautiful.
That trip was crazy. Like, after we were broke, we planned like, okay, we have only money for maybe like 3 or 4 more days. So we decided to do everything we wanted to do in 3 weeks. We decided to do as much as we can in those 3 or 4 days we had left. Well, so we went on night trains, and and slept only like 3 or 4 hours a day and did everything. It was crazy.
Oh, that's fun. You experience a lot when you do that.
Yeah, it was crazy. Oh, and I remember in Bergen, we stayed at a youth hostel, and there was a girl which had a huge spider, like a tarantula spider. I just remember it just came into my head.
No, I don't like spiders. I live
That
in
was also
in a
crazy.
basement, and so it's spiders here, obviously. And every time I see a spider, it's like, oh my god, I have to take it. And then I find some paper. I'm like, yeah, it's like an animal that I can't just take out because I don't want to take them. So I feel so bad because I have to just crush it. Spiders is
you have to put a glass on top of it and then paper under it and then bring it outside.
Yeah, but I almost cannot watch them. I'm really freaking out when I see them. But that was a good idea. Maybe I will try the paper. If it's not the big one, I can try the paper.
That's also good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a crazy story. But I remember like Norway it's such a beautiful country, and it's maybe a good like introduction because it had such a huge landscape and picturesque thing, but you only have like I think like 5 million people live there.
Yeah, something around
and
that.
how could it be that like a country with 5 million people has so many women competitors which are crushing it at the moment?
I think we inspire each other. I think that's the and so and also some Nordic power from Europe, because it's like you see Iceland, Sweden, we all have this like I think this toughness, this rawness from like I don't know, from living here. We just like to think that we're tough up in here. And also in Norway, Kristin made the way for us. She showed us this is how you do hard work, and now she's helping us to like we have looked so much up to her, and now we're trying to not feel her footsteps because that's almost impossible, but like try to adapt some more of her like work routines, and just we want to see each other get better. That's also we all of the girls cheer for each other here in Norway, so we want each other to succeed, and I think that plays a huge role. When we all train in the same gym, it's like if you start to not want the others to succeed, it's like that's not good for you. So you need to be inspired what the others can do, and they will just rise the level for you, and then you feel like, oh shit, I have to do more because everybody else is getting so good. And then I think it's a positive spiral to push each other like that.
Yeah, I know how that feels. I write the programming for my brother. He's a little bit younger than me, and I write the programming like for maybe like 3 months now. And he's coming to reach my numbers, and that pushes me. I'm like, oh man, he can't be better than me.
If you like start to get jealous of him and fear him, it won't be good for you. But if you like try to get good together, I think that would benefit both of you.
Yeah, that was also a question. Do you guys basically all train together in Oslo?
Yeah, right now we do that. So it's crazy. It's like it's a unique situation. Of course, it's a lot of people, so you have to adjust because it's a lot of people at CrossFit Oslo now. But it's also I wouldn't be anywhere else because basically the whole national team is there, and you also have some of the competitors that are like looking forward to want to get there are also coming to Oslo now. So yeah, we have to be here.
Ooh, do we have any like secret names which you can push out who's gonna make it the next years, which nobody knows from now?
Like this year?
Yeah.
Or like in some years?
Maybe some years could be more.
So you have Lea Støren. Have you heard of her?
No.
She did well in the Open last year. She's really young. She also did gymnastic like me. We're kind of similar. She's gonna do really well. And you also have because it's mostly the Norwegian girls that are really good now, but we also have some boys. And I think Victor Helsinghoff, he's also going to do. I think we'll see both of them in the games in a couple of years.
Interesting.
And you also have, of course, you have Oslo Navy Blue, like for next year's games. Just watch out.
Yeah, I had like Mats Jacobsen, the commentator of
I know.
the regionals and things, and he was like, that was before the games, and he was like, oh, watch out for CrossFit Oslo. They are like gonna be
And this
afraid.
year they're even stronger because now they're in year
Wow.
3 together, so they just build up. And you also have Matilde and Seher on the individual side. So
That's crazy. Like
yeah.
that was a question of mine. Like, how do you keep the relationship between each other's healthy when it comes to like competing against each other? Because basically you all want the same thing, like the same end goal.
I think we're just getting closer. Like me and Matilda now, we travel like to Texas and to Dubai, and it's just we get to know each other better and we cheer for
Yeah.
each other. So it's like we just yeah, I'm better friends with them now than I was before because before I didn't hang out with them as much.
Mhm.
And yeah. Well, of course, there can be sometimes where you think, "Oh, that's not so good," and like, but that's just how it is with every friend. I feel like we're all getting closer the last year, just because of how we want each other to succeed.
Yeah. Do you think like in general the sport is like a filter? Like I always like I think those athletes like you, there must be some kind of filter. Like there are no like I don't know how to say this, like assholes getting into the sport or lazy people. Like it's all like a special breed.
Yeah, I think like 90+% is hardworking people in the sport because you will not succeed if you're a lazy. What do you call badass? No.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think you have to want to evolve if you want to stay to do the sport. You want to push limits. That's
Yeah.
why we all get hooked up with CrossFit. You try the first workout where you just get like so crushed and so dead, and the feeling is I want to do this more. So I think you
Do
need to
you,
be that kind of person to get addicted to CrossFit.
yeah. Do you
Feel
remember your first workout?
I don't remember what it was, but it was wall balls, some gymnastics, some rowing, some burpees. It was like classic CrossFit Metcon. I was just going to start because I wanted to stay in shape when I was getting into medical school. I was
Mm.
studying in my it's high school, I think. So I was quitting gymnastics. Did gymnastics for 11 years, and then I'm like, oh, now I'm all going all in on school. I'm going to become a doctor, and that's going to be my life. Blah blah blah. I just want something to effective to work out. That because I want to stay in good shape because I cannot waste all these gymnastic years. And then I saw CrossFit on I don't know YouTube maybe, and I was just I'm gonna try that because it's a CrossFit gym close to my school, and I can just work out 1 hour. And I'm good, and I can read rest of the day. 2 months after, I was competing in the Open, and 1 year after, I was qualifying individuals for regionals, and I haven't looked back since.
Was that already in Oslo or was it in Bergen?
No, in Bergen. I've just lived in Oslo for 1
Mm.
year because I studied to become a doctor in Bergen. So I did. Firstly, I competed in CrossFit for 2 or 3 years before I started medical school. I started when I was 18 with CrossFit, and now I'm 26. So I've been doing it soon for 8 years. And
Wow, that's
yeah,
some years.
yeah, it's like I felt like it just started, but soon my CrossFit career is
Yeah.
the same length as my gymnastic career. And then when I got to medical school, I was like, oh, no, I'm gonna go all in on this, and I'm just gonna try to stay competitive with the 2 hours of training I do every day. And the first year, I think it was in 2017, I qualified for regionals again, and I went, and I was like, and man, this is fun. I want to do it more. So in 2018, I tried to like put more effort into the sport whilst also doing medical school. Everything is this is in Bergen, but it was really hard, and I struggled a lot with getting stronger because of all of the stress that I had in my everyday. And in 2018, I had set a goal to qualify for regionals. I set a goal to do all this stuff, but I didn't manage to do it because I was too weak. So then I decided to finish like the next school year, which was 2018 and 2019. And then I knew after 2019, we had I have been going for medical school for 3 years, and you were supposed to take a break for 6 months. And then I said, okay, then I want to do those 6 months. I just want to travel and compete all the end of 2019 and just have fun to see where that takes me. Because in 2018, I tried to achieve all those things, and it's just, I wasn't happy and I didn't manage to do it. So in 2019, I started with a new coach, and then I had all these competitions, and suddenly I qualified for the games in 2019.
That's crazy.
Yeah, with the sanctionals. So everything just fell in place. But then again, I had a break from school, and I was just like happy to be able to travel around the world and compete a lot. So then I took another half year off from school. That was in 2020, before, leading up to the games.
Yeah.
And I could
Which
not.
you already qualified for.
Yeah, in 2019. So I couldn't take that back. I said to my school, I need to have the next semester off because I'm going to the games. And then in March, everything shut down. And I said,
man, and then COVID hit.
Yeah, and then I said, I can go back to school because everything is online, so I can still train. No, you can't. So I was just sitting home in my parents' house because I had nowhere to be. So I trained alone in the garage, like for 4 months.
Man.
The games. Yeah. And
training camp in the parents' garage.
Yeah, and then the games was postponed, and the games happened. Then it came online, so I participated online, and that was when I got back to school in 2020. So I go back to school in 2020, and I went to school all the way until 2022, like 1 year ago, and then I decided to take another break from school to move to Oslo, because in the period between 2019 and 2021, I traveled back and forth from Bergen to Oslo because I wanted the environment here. And last year I have to move because here is my environment.
So how many like years or months do you have left at medical school?
Yeah, 1.5 years.
1.5 years?
I'm done with 4.5. And I have 1.5 left. I have to go back in August, so I probably move back to Bergen then. But I will try, like, see how much I can balance. I'm gonna have an off season next autumn, because I traveled and competed too much this autumn. So next autumn,
interesting.
We're gonna have an off season, and then I'm gonna write like this assignment in school. So I think I can manage to do both, and then we'll see if I have another more break or if I just finish school, because it's like when you finish, you have to go to this practical years, and it will be a benefit to do that directly from the last year. So I will have to see where my CrossFit is, that will decide how I do school. First year school decided how I did CrossFit, but now the last couple of years, this is more like becoming my job and my full-time doing. So that's what deciding how to do school. But like the university is setting some rules for me, like you have to do this and this during that period. So
you can't just like postpone it forever, I guess.
No, because everything will get not up to date. It's like I started in 2016, so I need to finish soon.
I guess that's in that degrees it's like that. I studied like photography, and you can basically study forever. It didn't matter.
Because what you studied then doesn't apply now.
I see that. That's interesting. Like, I think this story is so crazy. Like, all the situation, you just want to have fun, then you qualified. And I guess that was the time where your name like first popped up on my radar, because I think you qualified in strength and depth. Was it strength and depth?
Filthy 150.
Oh, Filthy 100, yes.
It was that's like my best competition ever. It was so cool experience.
But I think at that time you were competing like smaller competitions and were really good. And I was like,
I won the Aphrodite Games like 2 months before, which was back then a famous competition in Europe. If you ask somebody now, it's like, what is Aphrodite Games? And I'm like, man, it was a big thing back in the days. It was a fun year.
You first popped up on my radar there, and I think, do you feel robbed from COVID of your games experience?
Like from going to Madison, yes, but it's like I had this going through my mind all the year that year. So it's like I cannot do anything with it. So I just have to be grateful for what I have experienced, because the months before COVID, I traveled, like I went to Ireland and Cyprus and Argentina. I traveled a lot, and I got the games ticket. I got to participate in the games, and I have to try to earn it again to get to go.
Yeah. Is that like, do you think it's from your mind it's easier or worse to qualify again? Because you already know what you, I don't know how to
right
ask
now
that.
I feel it's worse because Europe is like crazy.
Yeah, like I think this year's semifinal, it will be like one of the, if not one of the craziest like competitions in Europe.
Yeah, it's
like
so
60 athletes. It's
yeah,
it's a nightmare of logistics.
We will get more spots then. Because if we had a ranking system last year, I think Europe would have deserved a lot more spots than 10. If you compared like how we were in the Open and the quarterfinals, I think Europe was a really closer percent to what America was. So we should have had a lot of more spots. So hopefully the ranking system will help us get more spots this year. But it's like,
so far
it's a big weekend. You have to perform that weekend, so everything
gonna be crazy.
It's not gonna decide whether the season is good or not. It's like it's hard.
And like for the spectators, like for people like me, it's gonna be amazing. Like all the good athletes in one spot, one weekend, it's gonna be.
I think that's what they want. They want more like audience and more like, that you're going. I already know now that I'm going to Berlin in the start of June, so it's like I can plan everything around that, instead of like last year we had to wait until the end of April, and I was like, you're going to Amsterdam in 1 month. And I was like, okay, plan now.
I think that's a good thing. Like, but also I think like for the spectators in Europe, it wasn't necessary. Like all both semifinals were packed from spectators, and it was huge.
Probably more North America or some of the others, because the last 2 semifinals we had were good, I think. Yeah.
But coming back at this 2020 season, did you do the online games at a box? Were there any people there, or was it?
Yeah, CrossFit Oslo. So we opened again like in June or July. Then we could go back to the gyms during COVID, and so I was able to train at a gym, and the games were in September. But I was just like overtrained because I train a lot alone, and then we thought the game was going to be in July, so we kind of we built up to peak to that, and then it was postponed. So I felt really tired when we came to the games in September. So I did not perform good, but it was like a good experience for me to have.
Were there any was it like an event at the box, or were it just some people there, or?
Yeah, they made an event, so we had audience, and me and Kristin did it together. Like we were not allowed to do it together, so we would just like I would go first, and then she would go second, and then we swapped it up. She would go first, and go second. So that was really good, and we had like all the Norwegian community supporting us, and so it was good.
Yeah,
it was the second best it could be. Like the best thing would be to go to Madison, and that
of course, to
do it there with all my friends and family, and
so that way you at least had like a time to chase right there.
Well, kind of, we swapped, so sometimes I had, and sometimes she had.
All right. Interesting. I think that year I hope it's gonna be the most unique and crazy games ever. I hope that's not gonna come back at some point.
No, me neither. You want to travel.
That's crazy. Did you had like in the garage did you have a home gym, or was it just like
we just used our garage? There was no home gym, but I had a barbell and some weights that I got from my sponsors. So the first days when we just thought it was going to be like the COVID's going to last for a week or two, I was like,
Yeah.
I can lift and then I can run up the mountains and I can do strict pull-ups and stuff and I would be fine. So then I started doing that outside, and then we realized it's going to be longer, so we moved it into the garage and we just took out the cars because it was getting hotter outside. It was like in March, April. And then I had a biker also from my sponsors, so I did not row or ski during that time, but I did a lot of bike and a lot of running, a lot of lifting. I had a rack and I had all the weights, some kettlebells and some dumbbells. And then to my birthday in April, my father built me like a bar hanging outside the garage. You need to find it on my Instagram. He made a homemade bar, and it was like he locked it up into the stone, like outside the garage. It's really cool. You can find it. And then we also had like this fabric that my family owns, which is higher under the roof because the garage is not high under the roof. And there I was able to put up some rings. So I went out to the fabric every time I was going to do my rings. And then so I went to like this fabric that works with metal, and I did my ring muscle ups like 3 times a week. So
awesome.
Yeah, you have to, it's,
well, yeah, I think I have to scroll a little bit.
But I didn't post that much in 2021, so you should be there soon.
Yeah, I think that was crazy. I tried to get sponsors are really a great thing, I guess. I tried to get a rower during COVID. It was impossible.
No, but I had the biker before COVID came. So now there it is. Oh, you had it a little bit back. There.
Oh, there.
Yeah. You see, my car is in the garage charging.
Wow, it's like a triangle, and that was like basically bumped into the rock.
Yeah, he just put it down in the rock.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it came out. I just missed like rope climb and all of the earths, and I had everything. So it was nice, but it was.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was lonely to do that every day.
That's really cool.
Yeah, but I'm glad I don't have to do that anymore because.
Yeah, I guess so.
It wasn't a good period for me, but I managed to get the best out of it. But I wouldn't do it again.
Yep.
Because it's like you're used to doing so much during the days, and you used to study, and it was just like sitting home, and I'm like working out for what? I don't know if it's going to be any games.
Yeah.
But yeah, everybody had a tough time during COVID, so it's like nothing special.
But I think it was really cool that they like made this effort to make something happen. Like,
yeah, I was really glad when they when they just said we're gonna have it online. I was like, yes, because I'd never believed that we were actually going to the States because there were so much restrictions. So when they said it was gonna be online, I was like, phew, okay, at least I get to compete a little bit.
Yeah. Was there any European athlete at the ranch? I don't think so.
No, it was
all Americans and Canadians, I think.
Yeah, it was Tia, Carrie Pierce,
Tia,
Brooke Wells, and Catherine. And Catherine lived in the States.
Oh yeah.
So, there was a European girl there, but she was living in the States.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. I wonder if they even gonna make it happen if some girl or guy from Europe would have qualified.
Yeah, I think so. They planned this a long time ahead, and Kristen was number 6, so she was like
close.
At first, the plan was to have all of the 30 athletes going to the ranch.
Yeah.
But so and then they just figured out it would be too much.
Yeah, that was a crazy I remember the first workout, no music, just this place in the desert.
That's kind of cool though.
Yeah. But also for the spectators, people like me, it was really refreshing and some spark of hope, if you can call this, to watch this. At least there's the fucking CrossFit Games with 5 people on the TV now.
I think that's what they wanted to we're gonna put this through no matter what. We're unique in how we do our sports, so it was really cool. Yeah.
Coming back, you said that you competed too much this what is it called, autumn?
This autumn, yeah. Like last autumn. So
what did you do? You did Dubai, I think.
Yeah, I did. So if we're going back further after 2020 I started school again, and in 2021 I didn't qualify to semifinals because I was too weak in my legs, because we had a 4 RM front squat in the quarterfinals. So I did
remember.
Yeah. And then after I injured my knee, so that's how I struggle with I injured my knee more because I also injured it earlier, some years before I qualified to the games, in my meniscus. And then after the summer after quarterfinals, I re-injured my knee. And then in the autumn in 2021, I had to do a surgery. Like, it's a little bit over a year ago. And then I had a surgery and I was like, okay, is there a point for me to move to Oslo? Because I don't know if I'm going to have a knee to use. So in January 2022, when I moved to Oslo, I still couldn't do any squats, and I hadn't had 1 kilo increase in my front squat in 3 years. So it was like really bad, because it's always been my biggest weakness is like the squat strength. And then in January, suddenly everything just started to get in place. I could start squatting, and leading up to the quarterfinals in 2022, I was like, for the first time in 3 years, I'm getting stronger. So then I increased my front squat for like, I believe 10 kilos in just a couple of months. And I was able to qualify for semis because I was getting stronger. Semis didn't go that well because it was like, I underperformed and I wasn't ready to get on the floor again. It went too long for me to get there. So that was kind of a disappointment, but we realized that I needed to compete more again, because that's was what I did in 2019. I competed a lot. So the summer I did 5 competitions now, the last summer.
Yes.
And then in the autumn we were like, okay, we're going to do some off-season competitions, like we're going to try maybe Rogue or Dubai. We also have the nationals, but then it's just like training. So when in August came, it was like, I was in a good shape. We're going to have nationals in September. The row qualifier came out, and I was like, oh, why not? Let's just have some fun. And then I was third, and it was like, oh, you're going to Texas. And I was like, well, that's nice. Maybe we should do some more. So then I did the German throwdown qualifier and did some more qualifiers. And then we had nationals. And after nationals, it was Dubai qualifier. And I went, let's just try, have some fun. And then everything, it's just, well, too much qualifiers and too much competitions with the nationals. And we had also this local sponsor competition before that. So I was like, okay. And then I was starting to get sick after nationals, leading up to Rogue. And I'm never really sick, actually. And I haven't even had COVID. So leading up to Rogue, I had like this streptococcal abscess in my throat. It's like growing down your throat, so you can't breathe. And that was 1 week before Rogue, but I was like, I cannot not go to Texas. So
perfect preparation.
Yeah, so I went to Texas with all of this, and I guess it was just the results of doing too much qualifiers and competitions earlier in the summer and in the beginning of the winter. Went to Texas, did compete with all of this, but also it was testing a lot of my weaknesses, as we know. That's why we wanted to go to Rogue. But it was a good experience, but I would rather do it without being sick. So coming home from Rogue, it was like 4 weeks until I felt like myself again. Like I couldn't breathe properly when I was working out, and I was really tired. So then we lost like a month more of season training, because the other months we just did qualifiers. But I also qualified for Dubai, and it's like, you cannot not go to Dubai. So
can't you really can you really not turn down like an invitation? Or if you earn it, like I guess it's even harder if you earn it through a qualifier. It's even harder to turn an invitation down.
I had to not go to German Throwdown, but it's like Rogue and Dubai is like some of the biggest competitions you can do outside of. So I felt like this is my games that I didn't have in 2020, so I want to go. And Dubai is like that's really fun. So actually, the week we went to Dubai, I started to feel good again. So when we came and we ran up the Burj Khalifa in Dubai, I placed fourth, and I was like, yes, now it's back. Now my breathing is back because this is what I'm good at. And I was like, I'm so happy that I did go to all the mountains in Bergen while I grow up, because this has helped me getting up the Burj. But also a lot of I was not super happy with Dubai, because it was a lot of like my weaknesses that I work on. I didn't feel like I got to show my progress. But I had some events that were good for me, and that I showed like that I'm becoming stronger, and I'm working on them. And then we had another competition straight from Dubai. We're going to Mexico to do the worlds in functional fitness. And then on the plane down to Mexico, I was getting sick again, and I was like, okay, you're doing too much. And that lasted for like 3 weeks, and finally now I feel like I'm getting back into it.
Yeah.
So we lost like 4 months of off-season training because of all the traveling.
When is the season starting? Like when are the Open coming around?
Yeah, that's in February, but Open is luckily
February. Yeah,
luckily it's not something
for
we
you
have
guys.
to prioritize.
For you guys, it starts with the semis, I guess.
Yeah, well, like you have to be prepared for the quarterfinals, and then you get in good shape to the semis. So, but it was a good autumn. I loved all the travel, but for training it was not good because I was so much sick. So hopefully I had COVID now though, because I didn't have it before.
That's interesting. I had it like, I don't know if I had it. I had once for sure.
Yeah.
But I guess I even had it twice.
Yeah. Many people have. I never had a positive test.
Yeah.
No matter how many people around me.
But I see this a lot, like lately, like from both sides, like competing too much or too little. Like I think Adrian Mundwieler or somebody said it. Like after COVID, like he went to the semis and didn't qualify for the games, and he said afterwards, like, yeah, I wasn't used to compete again.
Yeah,
like it was the first year.
Yeah.
And then he did like, I don't know, like 50 competitions in 2 months or something like that afterwards.
Same. I've done like 10 plus this the last year after semis. So it's but it was too much. I think you should have done a little bit more, but like not that many, at least not all the qualifiers, because you lose your training structure.
I think so. So what are your like, I don't know, goals and expectations for Berlin?
Well, now I have some months to work more on my weaknesses. I have pretty clear weaknesses, so that's I'm working a lot on them, but it's slowly progressing.
Yeah.
I'm like a snail, but I'm always working. So I'm really like, I'm putting down the work, and I will have the results that I work for. So this season is just I want to see a difference in my holes. That's my biggest goal, because I've always been really good at something, and I'm still good at that, but I need to be more round. So it's good. The last year I've become much stronger. I'm still one of the weakest girls, but for me it's a huge progress what I've been able to do the last year, and that's also because of my knee stayed healthy for a year. I didn't have a break in my squat cycles. So that's what I really most proudly with 2022 is how strong I have become. And so now it's time to fill all of those other holes, small holes that keeps me from like being stable at top.
How do you keep patience, like, on getting stronger?
It's hard. Well, in getting stronger, I'm really patient because I see what I do work. The other years it didn't work, so I was like, how am I getting stronger? Because I don't respond to the weights. But now that I do, it's just like, as long as I see progress, I'm happy. It needs to take whatever time it needs. I'm never giving up on something. It's just I have to be patient.
Yeah. And I think like the strength part, it's like the hardest to catch up.
Yeah, and also I think it's some genetics as well, because some people are just getting stronger fast, and I'm like the opposite, because I don't need to do much conditioning. I feel like I have some hard workouts, and then okay, now I'm in good shape. Like just like Burj Khalifa. When I suddenly felt like I was healthy again, it's just like okay, then I can breathe hard. So I don't need to do a lot of conditioning. I need to do squats 5 times a week to get stronger. So that's what I do.
Yeah. Was that event like one of the most unique
Yeah.
experience you did
Yeah, I think it's
in
the funnest
competing?
one I have ever done. Like not necessarily the funnest, because it was just white walls and stairs, and you heard yourself breathe.
Yeah.
So like when you walk up the stairs, it's like it's kind of it's not cool, because you don't have any audience, and you feel the heat, and you feel the dryness, and it's just like it's bad air, and you're hurting. So you're just listening to yourself breathe for 30 minutes. But I like that kind of work. I was just imagining that I was going up a mountain back home in Bergen, and I knew that when I was getting up on top, it was going to be a huge reward, because like nobody else have ever done this.
Yeah.
Everybody else is going up here, so I might as well just enjoy the experience.
How many people did go before you?
I don't like all of the 20 guys went before us,
Yeah.
and I think I was number 7 or 8 of the girls.
Oh, okay. Did the other guys like stay on top? Like, did they?
The guys went down, but the girls stayed there. And
Oh,
when I went
cool.
up, I stayed a little bit, and then we were told to get down because it was not so much room. It's like
Yeah.
it's not a real floor; it's just like a building. Like
Yeah.
yeah, and so we had to go down like to 2 or 3 levels when Matilda and Seher did the last girls came up, and then we all went down again together in the elevator. Yeah, but it was really cool. It's like
How long? How long does the elevator take to get down?
It was fast. It was like I felt a little bit dizzy. No, not long.
Do you know your time to get
Uh,
up?
was it 33 something maybe? I
I guess
really,
the elevator like takes like a few minutes.
yeah, not many minutes. But we had a wait test though, so you would
Yeah.
be quicker without the wait test. Yeah, not long. We were just standing there and talking, and longing for water and food, because we were not allowed to bring anything. They wanted it to be like kind of raw event where you no drinks, no nothing. You just have you and your weight vest, and you're going up. So we were wanting to go home, back to the bus, and have our food, and yeah, take an ice bath.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah, it was good. Dubai was fun.
Yeah, Andrea, we're almost at the end.
Oh, so quick.
Yeah, thank you for your time. It was amazing. But I have
You,
like a speed round at the end
yeah, ask me anything.
where I give you a question and you answer as fast as you can.
Wow, I cannot promise that I'm good at this.
Are you ready?
Okay.
First one, snatch or clean and jerk?
Match.
Fraser or Froning?
Fraser.
Hiatumi or Iceland?
Tia.
Some fruit or no sugar?
Some fruit.
Tacos or pizza?
Taco.
5K row or 100 burpees for time?
100 burpees.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And the last one, CrossFit Games or Olympia?
CrossFit Games.
That's interesting because I think like the IF3 and the functional fitness, like it's pretty big in Norway, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like basically we treat it as the same in Norway. That's how it's so big in Norway. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's interesting. Like in Germany, it's growing, but it's like a really slow process. Like they're not that high caliber athletes like doing it.
No,
I think.
but I think we are also part of getting it bigger.
Yeah.
Because we do well in CrossFit, and we want to do well in functional fitness.
Yeah.
So, and we also have a lot of support from the federation in Norway. So we
That's
have
cool.
like a national team, and they support us a lot. So we give and we take, and we build it up together. So yeah.
That's pretty cool. How is the sport like scene in the public? Is it
People like
is
it.
it yeah?
Yeah, we have it in TV as well, so more people are starting to recognize it and see what it is. So yeah, and it's like pretty good streaming for people to understand what we're doing, and it's like people from the sport doing the commentary and like try to explain for people who doesn't know what a sport is. So we're trying to make it more like a famous sport.
Cool.
Yeah.
I think that's the main thing for me. I don't know if they ever gonna like fulfill their mission to bring it to the the Olympic Games, but I think the most important thing is like it makes more opportunities for the athletes and brings more people to the sport, more attention. I think that's amazing.
Sport needs to grow, so I agree. Hopefully they make it to the Olympics, but maybe that's when I'm done. I don't know.
It's gotta be fun.
If they don't make it to 2028, I guess it's going to be hard for me to keep up with the younger ones.
Yeah.
Unless they will have a master class or something.
But that's also interesting. Was your motivation to do gymnastics to get to the Olympic Games?
No, Norway was not at that level when I did gymnastics. No? I always dreamt about the Olympics, but I was too far away from it.
Okay.
I realized that I'm not gonna get there because I started too late, and But I always like I enjoyed the Olympics so much, and I dreamt so much about it. But when I turned 18 and everything was just like, no, I'm done with this. And I finally, I think this last year, I'm finally starting to say that CrossFit is my sport, not the gymnastics. And it's been like, for all my life, it's been like gymnastics is my sport. But now I'm almost at a point where I see like CrossFit is my main sport, because I've been doing this almost as long, and I've been putting in more time to this, and I've become better in CrossFit than I was in gymnastics. So now I feel like CrossFit is my sport.
Cool. I think that's a good ending for the podcast.
I think so.
I'm gonna stop the recording.